What's up, fishy people? Welcome to Tim's School of Fishing. Class is in session. Not only do I like guns and knives and fishing and all kinds of stuff, I like to read a lot. Last year I read 82 books. Do you not read at all? You should read. This will make you brilliant, like me. This year my goal was to read 83 books. I'm not going to make it that far. I'm on pace to read about 30 because I've been so busy at work. Recently, Amazon had a big 3 for 2 sale, so I got a whole bunch of books from Amazon. I'm interested to know if any of you guys have read any of these books. Washington, A Life by Ron Chernow, winner of the Pulitzer Prize. Ron Chernow also wrote a book on Alexander Hamilton, which was the primary source of information for Hamilton, the Broadway play. It wasn't based on Ron Chernow's book, but that's what he used as his primary source of historical information. Woke Racism, How a New Religion Has Betrayed Black America by John McWhorter. This is how about wokeism has gone absolutely crazy. John McWhorter is black. He is a person of color, by the way. Expository Apologetics by Voddie Baucham. Voddie Baucham is awesome. He also recently wrote a book called Fault Lines, which is really great. The Real Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, Big Pharma, and the Global War on Democracy and Public Health by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This is all about the pandemic. Voices from the Grave, Two Men's War in Ireland. This is about the Troubles in Northern Ireland. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you know all about the IRA and the bombings and the Protestants and the Catholics in Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. This is about Brendan Hughes and Jerry Adams, who were big players in all of that. This is by Ed Moloney. Lee by Douglas Southall Freeman. Douglas Southall Freeman wrote the Pulitzer Prize winning 4-volume biography of Robert E. Lee. He is considered the foremost authority on Robert E. Lee. So this is the abridged version of the 4-volume set. R.C. Sproul, Reformed Theology. God rest his soul. R.C. Sproul was great. Gulag, A History by Anne Applebaum, winner of the Pulitzer Prize. This is all about the political concentration camps in the Soviet Union. And also Blood and Thunder, the epic story of Kit Carson and the conquest of the American West by Hampton Sides. Hampton Sides also wrote a great book called Ghost Soldiers about the rescue mission of the guys in the Philippines, the survivors of the Bataan Death March in the Philippines. Ghost Soldiers was about how they went behind enemy lines and rescued those guys. So, I like guns. I like knives. I like fishing. I also like to read. Crazy, I know. Do any of you guys like to read? If so, have you read any of those books? If you haven't read any of those books, have you read any great books lately? Do you not read at all? You should read. This will make you brilliant, like me. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Fish. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Fish. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Fish. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Fish. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Fish. That's it for this episode of Tim's School of Fish. Class dismissed.